think we got it. I think everything is set up. Okay. Hello, everyone. How are we doing today? Can everybody see me? Are we good to go? I don't look like I'm obscuring anything, am I? Maybe a little. Nah, that's good. I think it's good. I think that's good, right? I think we're good. I think we're set. Just a little bit. Maybe that way. I don't know. I don't really like that. Okay. I think we're gonna. I think it's about as good as we're gonna get. Can everybody hear me? Is the audio good to go? Are we ready to go? Are we all set? Because I am excited to get back into Minotaur Hotel. Sorry, just making sure. I know we're starting a little later than I said, but not too late. Just want to make sure everything's set up before I get going. Because I know everybody is ready to watch me keep going with this. This is probably a surprise to a lot of you. First, I would like to apologize. I do know that this has been on for a few days for stream. Long story short, been having some issues, so I kind of had to postpone. Temporarily had to postpone this. But, I'm excited to get into this. I'm gonna check something real quick. Because I know everybody is ready to watch me keep going with this. Just making sure the things are working. This is probably a surprise to a lot of you. Okay, I think we're ready. Okay, hello everyone, and welcome to a brand new episode of Minotaur Hotel with your host, Fallenwolf. So, it's been a little bit since I played Minotaur Hotel. Minotaur Hotel was actually a really fun one. Oh, hold on. Okay, we're good. Minotaur Hotel been a really fun one for me to play. I'm excited to get back into this. I know a lot of people have been enjoying Minotaur Hotel. I do apologize for the late start. It was supposed to start at 4, but I had a doctor's appointment. It was a new doctor, so I kind of had to postpone a little bit, but I didn't want to completely disregard this because I do want to keep going with this. Let's continue. Also, can I just mention how much I love the main theme music? It's very theatrical. I guess theatrical is the word. It's very makes you feel like the story. I don't know how to describe it. But anyway, I am here, your host today. We're gonna be playing some more Minotaur Hotel. Per the usual. If there's any issues with the audio, please let me know. If it sounds like it's echoey or anything sounds wrong with the audio, don't be afraid to tell me. I'll try to fix what I can on my end. I can't always promise that it'll be completely fixed, but I will try to, I'll try to do my best. That's what I usually do. So, anyway, last time we left off, we met... Oh, that's rough. Oh, I'm gonna have to actually look that up. I forgot who we met. Like I said, I don't really have a good memory, so forgive me. I'm trying to remember who we met. What was his name? Coda was the name, Coda the dragon. In this episode, I'm not sure what's gonna happen because I went for the classy look, so I'm not sure if that affects if you meet all of the guests or it affects what guest you get to meet, so I might not be meeting somebody else. I do know there is another character called Luke. I think you get to meet him. So, it has been an hour or so since Astrian left the lounge. The Minotaur had led you back to the hotel's hearth to check in on it. Everything seemed to be in working condition. You both did the rounds and inspected the hotel. The rooms, the stairways, the lobby, every lamp and switch and door you could find. Some of the walls were still cracked, windows were smashed, and there was water damage here and there. The sight displeased Astrian, but the hotel seemed to be repairing itself at an impressive rate. You both stopped at the lounge to take a break and celebrate a job well done. Astrian served your favorite drink again, and with your permission took a glass of wine himself. You meet them all. What changes is in what order. Oh, okay. Okay, that's a nice detail. So, okay. So, apparently, so we definitely are going to be meeting Luke. So, apparently you meet... I do know about Luke only because I watched a little bit of Blade Lloyd. I probably butchered that name. Blade Lloyd, he's a fantastic... He is a fantastic, YouTuber. He does the same thing I do. He does a lot of furry visual novels. He's really good at it. He has a very, very deep and manly voice. Not like mine, but that's okay. He's very well at his job. Recently I found out he was in an actual video game, which he did share with me what part it was. He's really good. Something I'm hoping to do in the future. I would love to do an indie game. So hey, if anybody out there is watching this and you are an indie game developer and you need a voice, even if it's a minor character, I'm more than willing to do it. I don't have to get paid for it. It's something just fun to do to me. Yes, my fursona does have a name. My fursona is the same name as this channel. Fallenwolf is his name. Well, he does have an official name, but that's... Fallenwolf is what we go by. Fallenwolf is what we go by. And me and him have a very deep connection. I have him and I have one other OC who I still need to get art of. My other OC's name is Casey. I don't really have art of her. I drew her a little bit, but I don't really have art of her. I would love to get some art of her, though. I gotta get more art done of my fursona. Oh, speaking of, I am currently getting sprites done. I think I mentioned it in a previous video. I am currently getting sprites done of my character for future videos for this channel. I don't know if anybody knows here's an example. I don't know if people know like Beta De Loda. They're a furry YouTuber, a pretty popular one. They do a lot of discussion and topic videos. I was thinking of kind of doing something like that, not exactly like that, but kind of like that. So that's gonna be. I'm really excited to get started on that. The sprite should be done in about 2 weeks, 2 more weeks, and they should be done. And I'm really excited. I'm so happy. But anyway. Oof, I forgot to tag Minotaur Hotel team for this. I don't know if anybody knows Minotaur Hotel team. Feel free to share this. If you like me that much. I don't know if people like me that much or enjoy my channel that much. But if you do, you have my permission to share it. I don't mind. I don't care if you share this channel. Okay, here we go. After a brief chat, you check the time, only to notice your phone's battery was long dead. But the hotel has power now. You wished for a socket to plug your phone in, and after a blink, it materialized before you. Astrian was eager to resume the inspection. You were enjoying the break, so you let him continue without you. The time alone proved beneficial. So much has happened in the last few days. Meeting the old man, finding the hotel and the Minotaur inside, the altercation with Argos. After a drink and some time, you didn't feel as overwhelmed. All the craziness seemed to be under control. Check in on your phone after spending a couple hours in an armchair by the hearth. It had barely changed 3% of the battery. It had barely charged 3% of the battery. It probably won't remain on for more than a minute. As you head back to the couch to sit down, you hear a sound that has grown familiar to you over these few days. Astrian's hooves clopping towards you. Good afternoon, Master. Hello, Astrian. Are you done with your inspection? I love Astrian in the t-shirt. I really do. I really like... Okay, I think we're fine. Okay, I usually don't have issues. This is the first time I've been having serious issues with this. This is very interesting. Okay, I think we're good. I'm still getting used to it, Astrian. Well, I have to see this for myself now. You look like a kid on Christmas Eve, you know. Please excuse me, Master. I just haven't had guests in so long. Well, I can't wait to meet this guy. I'm intrigued. You think he's in his room now? I suppose so, yes. I'd rather not disturb the guest, but this is a special occasion, isn't it? Perhaps this one time. You're about to head to the new guest's room when you hear footsteps approaching the lounge. The footsteps are slow and even, carefully measured, as though the one approaching is taking his sweet time to take in his surroundings. They're accompanied by a faint sound, keeping time with each step. A quiet, simple tune hummed in a deep, rumbling voice. The melody is like the flowing of a stream, steady and constant. Oh, here's Coda. Coda was from the previous episode, so if you were curious, feel free to look at the last episode. When your first guest arrives at the lounge, his eyes are already wandering up and down to catch the grandeur and lingering decay of the place. He seems to be lost in thought as he examines the leather couches, the hearth, the tables and chairs. It's only when Astrian clears his throat with a polite cough that the dragon seems to realize that you're there. I trust the accommodations are to your liking, Mr. Koto. Ah, Mr. Astrian, they are indeed, thank you. Forgive me, I was just looking around. It's alright, go on and make yourself at home. The dragon, Mr. Koto, looks over to you as you speak up. He offers you a low bow and a polite smile. Thank you very much for the hospitality. I take it you're the master, then, that Mr. Astrian mentioned at check-in. Yes, I'm the owner, I'm Mark. The dragon's smile widens. He gives you another shallower bow while shaking your hand with a firm grip. It is an honor, Master Mark. Yeah. Astrian clears his throat again, gaining the dragon's attention once more. Is there anything I can get for you at this time, Mr. Koto? A meal or a drink, perhaps? Oh, no. Thank you very much. But as I said, I am just looking around right now. Perhaps later. Very well. Then, if I may be so bold as to ask, what do you think of our fine hotel so far? It's nice. A little more run down than I had pictured, and I would have thought that there would already be guests. But I suppose that's what I get for getting my hopes up. I see. The Minotaur tries to keep his face neutral, but you could tell that Kota's words have cut deep. The hotel is Astrian's pride and joy, and to have it criticized by the first guest in years like that must hurt. Alright, so first choice to be stay silent, it's a work in progress, or if you don't like it, you can leave. I don't think we want to say if you don't like it, you can leave, only because he is our first guest. And the way this VN is, I don't know if we say that he might actually leave. So I'm going to say either one or two. So should I stay quiet or should I say it's a work in progress? I feel bad because that is something I wanted to mention. As far as I know with this VN, it's going to be possible to do stuff with Astrian. But I'm wondering who's really wants to do anything to Astrian because he's been tortured for centuries. I mean, I don't know. I just feel like something like that. I feel like you don't want to. I don't know. I feel like that's kind of almost like it reminds me of Walking Dead season 1. I'm gonna spoil it, obviously, because I mean, come on, Walking Dead's been out. Season 1 came out 2012. It's 8 years. It's not spoilers. With that kind of game, it was very hard to make genuine choices that you felt were right. It was very hard to make choices that you felt were right simply because you had Clementine almost always with you. So it's always like you didn't want to be an asshole even if you thought it was the right thing to do because she was always standing there beside you. So it's like if somebody's attacking you and you knock them off, like, alright, for example, one of the choices was like, oh, Lily kills somebody. Oh, should you let her back on the thing? Me personally, like, no, she shouldn't be back on the RV. We should leave her to fend for herself. She killed a member of our group. But then Clementine's there, like, why can't do that? Because Clementine's like, oh, please, let's take her with us. I'm like, all right, I guess I'll take her with us. So I feel like it's almost gonna be like that with Astrid. Like, if Astrid actually does come to us, like, oh yeah, do you want to have sex with me? I'm gonna be like, I feel bad if maybe I do in the VN, but I'm gonna feel bad because explain to us all the horrors you've been through, and it's gonna feel like we're taking advantage of him. I'm not really saying anything bad about the writing, because the writing is excellent, by the way. The writing is excellent, but it's just food for thought. When you make a character like that, you have to be really careful how you write them. You don't want to make them too dehumanized, because then you're gonna feel bad if you want to make choices that are dehumanizing, because they've already been dehumanized so much. But that's my thought. Work in progress. What work in progress are you talking about? Alright. Oh, I'm an idiot. I was like, wait, what are you talking about work in progress? I'm like, were you talking about the VN? Okay, we'll go for work in progress. Well, hey, it's a work in progress. You should have seen how it looked when I first got here. I don't think he'd like that. Oh no, Ashton, we're sorry. We're trying to defend you. What I mean is, we're working on it, and once we get the place completely cleaned up, I think you'll be amazed. Despite how things look now, I can tell that this once was a grand place. I can see the beauty of it even under all the dust and decay. Although if it's just the two of you, then I imagine that it will take quite a while to restore its former glory. Are there no other staff around? Are there no other staff here? It may surprise you, but Astrid and I can get a lot done. Still, yes, we are looking for people willing to join our staff. Astrid, can you tell Mr. Koda how things worked here back then? Yes, before issues arose with the previous manager, it was quite common for guests to choose to remain here indefinitely. Most didn't have anywhere else to go, you see, and we can pay reasonably well. Or we should soon enough, seeing as the hotel does not aim to generate profits. And the guests who join our staff get to enjoy all the hotel's facilities for as long as they want, free of charge. Indeed. I wish I had a long beard right now. It's like, I see. The dragon begins brushing his claws through his long beard, looking from you to Astrian and back again. Finally, a spark of resolve shines in his eyes. Mr. Astrian, back when I checked in, I offered my services in exchange for being allowed to stay. If you two are in need of staff, then I would be happy to help in any way that can repay the hospitality you two have shown me. I've worked many odd jobs over my years of traveling, and have gained a variety of skills. Cooking, cleaning, a few years doing manual labor. I may not look it. The dragon pats the round firm rise of his belly with a laugh. But my body is solid. I even spent a few months as a bartender back 20 years ago? 30? Speaking honestly, I enjoyed that job the most. The conversation with others. Tales swiped and secrets divulged to be kept in confidence. Finding the right drink for your customer, the one that would soothe their worries and help to ease their burdens, at least for the little time they spent at the counter. Oh, that's my phone. I'm gonna put that over here for right now. The dragon's expression grows pensive and his gaze distant. When you glance over to Astrian, you see a similar look in the Minotaur's eyes as he lets out a thought-felt hum. He does. I completely agree. Tendo says he has a nice design. Yeah, I do. I think I've said it before. I don't think the art is groundbreaking, and especially with me being spoiled with just playing something like Changeling Tale yesterday, they're not groundbreaking. The art itself is not groundbreaking, but the designs are good. I like the designs. I think they're good, and I do like the dragon design. It's nice to see a dragon design like this. I'm perfectly fine with the art style. I don't think it's for everybody, but for me, I'm content. I don't have any issues with it. The moment is broken as Kato shakes himself out of his reverie. He gives you a rueful smile. Forgive me, I get lost in reminiscence sometimes. My point is that I can do anything you need of me. I'm happy to help. You can feel Astrian's eyes on you. When you glance at the bull, you see him silently begging your permission to speak. If you have something to say, then go ahead, Astrian. Very well, Master Bark. The lounge could use the services of a good bartender. Though I can perform the role well enough, I do have other duties as keeper which come first. Management of the lounge has often been delegated to a suitable guest in the past. I think it would be in good hands with you behind the counter, Mr. Koda. Well then, that works out perfectly. In the country of my birth, it was often said that fortune follows in the wake of dragons. Though I cannot benefit from it myself, I am happy to offer it to my gracious hosts. Believe me, we can use all the good luck we can get. But before we get ahead of ourselves, I wanted to ask you something, Mr. Koda. You said earlier that you got your hopes up before coming here. What were you hoping to find? I see nothing gets past you, Master Mock. You say nothing and allow the dragon to gather his thoughts. For years, centuries now, I've been looking for something. Someone dear to me who was lost a long time ago. I traveled the entire world searching for him, but so far I haven't had any luck, no matter where I've gone or how many people I've asked. When I heard about this hotel opening, I thought perhaps there would be someone here who could offer a lead in my search. This hotel is a place for wanderers to gather, is it not? The dragon bows and his expression grows blank. However, you can see desperation flash in his eyes for just a moment. The desperation of a man who's come so close to his goal, only to have the rug pulled out from under him, time and time again. If you allow me to stay here, to speak with the other guests and hear their tales of wandering, perhaps I will find the lead I've been searching for. And do you plan to leave once you've found it? Again, the dragon's eyes flash. Will I be allowed to? Of course, this hotel was not meant to be a prison. For the guests, at least. You will be free to leave once you've found what you're looking for, Mr. Coda. Or whenever you so wish, naturally. I don't plan to disappear in the middle of the night. If that worries you, I'll be sure to make arrangements so that my departure doesn't inconvenience you. I don't know how long it'll be before I find what I'm looking for anyway. Until that time comes, I may as well do my part as your guest, right? Again, you take a look at Astrian. It looks like the Minotaur has already made up his mind about taking Koda on as a staff. The hotel's mission is to take in those who are lost. Going by what you've told us tonight, it would seem you fit the bill. Are you willing and ready to uphold the hotel's mission and bow to the owner's authority? How formal. I haven't heard a contract of service put in quite that way in centuries. It makes me feel nostalgic. As long as I am free to pursue my own agenda, then yes, for the duration of my stay in the hotel, I will happily serve in any way that I can. Well, Sir Mark, with your command, I can have it all arranged. What say you? Seeing as Mr. Coda swore our oath already, all you need to say is, Mr. Coda, hereby you are taken into this hotel as staff to fulfill its mission and to serve as manager of the lounge. Fancy, huh? Very well, Coda. Hereby you are taken as staff of this hotel to fulfill its mission and work as manager of the lounge. You offer your handshake. Coda takes your hand in both of his and once again gives you a low...
Okay. Oh, I'm telling you, it's killing me. I don't know what's going on today with the connection. It's starting to annoy me. But anyway, we're back. Okay, let's try this again. As you have been taken on as the staff member in charge of the lounge, you are hereby given free authority to shape it as you please. I have fond memories of the lounge's current layout, but the labyrinth has always shifted its appearance throughout the years. Maybe it's time to give it an update. Well, it could look more modern. In truth, I can appreciate the way it looks. It's a thing of beauty, even as it is now. He runs his clawed hand over the bar top. Again, the softly hummed tune rumbles in his throat. Old and new. Something that appeals to a traditional sensibility, and yet is welcoming to all types. Mr. Coda. Ah, forgive me. I was lost in reminiscence again. I was thinking about the bar I used to work in. Would it be stepping beyond my bounds to give the lounge a personal touch? Please feel free. In that case, I think I have a few ideas that you may like. Ooh, I'm excited. One by one, the lights flicker as you approve Koda's requests. He looks to you to gauge your reaction to each change, as well as Astrian's. Let's add a little more light, yes? Oh, but keep the dark wood. In fact, do you mind if we make it a little darker? Some more seating would be nice. Here and here. Oh, this area around the hearth would be perfect. Please, Mr. Coda, my only request is that you don't alter that area too much. Alright, but how about over here then? Oh boy. Coda continues to add his own personal touch to the lounge. Lamps in the shape of paper lanterns hanging over the bar counter. Traditional Japanese artwork on the walls. Intricately folded napkins at every table. Ooh, that looks good! I like it. That looks really nice. I like this. I like it. By the time you are done, the old lounge has turned into a brightly lit restaurant that strikes a delicate balance between traditional and modern. Coda continues to examine every detail. It seems like he won't be satisfied until everything is exactly perfect. Astrian looks around, a thoughtful expression on the Minotaur's own face. It looks amazing. Good work, Mr. Coda. Oh, please. I suppose if I am to be staying here for a while, then just Coda will be alright. In that case, just Mark and Astrian will be alright for us. Deal. Well, now I think this place is looking much better already. Warm, welcoming. If you don't mind me saying, it already feels like someplace I could call a home, at least for the time being. A home. That sounds good to me. How about we have a drink to celebrate? We can tell you more about how things work around here, and how they will work once we start getting more guests.
I like it. What do you guys and girls think? Do you like it? I like this. I like this. I think it's nice. I like it. It looks really good. Good job, Mr. Coda. Good job. Or I'm sorry. Good job, Coda. Coda goes over to the counter, grabs the beer mug, and returns to you. All right, I'll whip something up, shall I? I look forward to working with the both of you, Ashley. Oh, he's even got a sprite with him actually holding a mug. I like. Okay, all right. I'm excited. All right, I'll whip something up, shall I? I look forward to working with the both of you, Ashley and Mark. Cheers. All right, things. We're going to chapter 7. Chapter 7, A Moment of Weakness. Alright, so we are getting into... I'm going to keep going, of course. This stream might not be quite as long as yesterday. Probably about an hour and a half. Not quite 2 hours. Be a little under 2 hours. Just because I'm a little tired. You spend the rest of the day with Astrian and Coda in the lounge, admiring the change in decor, sharing drinks, and exchanging stories. Coda had some interesting stories to tell about his life on the road. You recounted some of yours in turn. Cases you were involved in, organizations you worked with, and curiosities from your field of study. Astrian kept quiet for most of the conversation about past experiences. His brief answers made clear his apprehension about sharing his story with Coda. Still, the Minotaur had a shy smile throughout the whole night. As soon as the topic turned back to anything less personal, he rejoined the conversation. With the aid of a few glasses of wine, Astrian's posture relaxed. Slouched on his chair, eyes half closed, he was afloat in a sea of bliss. Eventually, it started getting late, and you bid Coda farewell. You and Astrian, meanwhile, returned to the master's quarters. I'm liking it. Okay, things are starting to get good. I'm really curious to see what happens when we start getting more guests. Because what if we have guests that don't really agree with us? Because I know this is a place for people that are lost, but I said, obviously, everybody's not going to get along, so I'm curious to see how the conflict's going to be when characters don't get along. Because, remember, Astrian wants this place to be a place for everybody to get along and a place for people who are lost and basically wandering people to have a place to be. Astrian stumbles about with you, drowsy but happy. He hums and sways his head back and forth. His hooves had a rhythm which echoes through the hallways. When he looks back to you, his one eye has a faint glimmer. Long day, huh? Yes, indeed, it's been so long. Time demanded its due, so much has changed. Peculiar faces, a different lounge, a whole new time, but I feel like I used to back then, surrounded by friends, talking well into the night. I have a purpose again. I cannot thank you enough. It's nothing. No, it is quite something. It is a high honor to serve you, Master. While we're at it, there's something about which I should inform you. It is your right as Master to know, and my duty as Keeper to inform you. Remember the story I told in the lounge? Which one? You told so many. The one about Master Robert and his son Master Bernard, whom I helped raise. Now, where should I start? I asked you today if you liked how I looked. When I tried on my clothes, that was not a trivial question. The Master has a right to determine how the Keeper should look. That, of course, includes how I should present myself, what my uniform should be. But it goes deeper than that. During Master Bernard's mandate, he deemed I should have white fur. Before arriving here, he was a physician, you see, and believed it would convey cleanliness. Meanwhile, Master Robert always wanted me to have black fur, even as a child. He thought I looked respectable and imposing like that, and he, too, would seem powerful when riding on my back. I suspect with time, Master Robert insisted I have black fur solely to annoy his father. The two of them bickered about it quite often. They'd even exchanged jabs about it during dinner. But when the father was on his deathbed, he requested a moment to talk in private with each and every one of his descendants. Not so private in reality. I stayed by the bedside to anoint his will, to make sure each and every one would have their corresponding legacy. Midway through, he asked to see me how he remembered me. His son accused, and so I served him until the end. To my unfaltering servant, it's what he wrote in the letter. And Sir Robert, to my childhood playmate. This, too, is the Master's right. You may choose how I should look. The labyrinth's magic will arrange it. By the oath I have sworn, I am obligated to inform.
I am bound to instruct you to the best of my abilities on all of the hotel's capacities. So you see, my asking master what he thought of my clothes, that was not trivial. Your will is in order.
Remain quiet, or why is the master allowed to do this? I kind of want to know more. I kind of want to ask him, why are we allowed to... but I kind of figure out why we can do this? I'm going to ask.
The why. I have burdened you terribly, my lord, with my rambling. I would prefer not to weigh you down further with unsightly knowledge. But to answer your question in a delicate way, as you can see, I can be healed quickly. The special wine I drink is used to hasten the process. I am terribly difficult to injure permanently. The labyrinth allows the master to control my form to an extent, with the goal of making it so I would not heal from certain injuries, should the master wish it so.
Should we pry further or leave it alone? This poor man has been so tortured. I feel so terrible for him. So basically, what it sounds like is we could even control to an extent, like, how much pain he feels. Well, obviously we can torture him, but like he's literally saying like I guess certain, as long as it doesn't kill him, the master can decide like what injuries he heals. That is brutal. That is. Ugh. Should we pry further or should we remain quiet? I kind of want to know more, but at the same time, he seems really uncomfortable with it, and I don't want to make him feel like, I don't want to make him think something, because he's already like, you know, we want him to understand that we care for him. Remain quiet or pry further. Come on, people. Come on, people. Act lively. We're supposed to be watching this. Let's see if you've been watching. Remain quiet or pry further. Okay, we have one vote for remain quiet. One vote for remain quiet going once. Going twice. 3 times. We got 2 votes going for remain quiet. 2 votes for remain quiet here. All right, we're going another 30 times. 3 votes for remain quiet. 3 votes for remain quiet over here. All right, I'm thinking remain quiet is going to be the winner. All right. Sold. Remain quiet to the 3 lovely people watching the stream right now. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I will be here all night, or at least for the next hour and a half.
Remain quiet. I suppose Master sees where I'm going with this. What is your will, my lord?
Pick a fur color for Astrian. Let me ask what he wants first, and then I'll let people vote.
Which color would you rather be? Excuse me.
You heard me. What color would you rather be?
What do you prefer? Master need not worry about what I want. I am the servant. My will shouldn't affect your judgment.
But I want to learn more about you. I would appreciate knowing, even if you don't think it matters.
The Minotaur sighs and bites his lip. I think you displeased him somehow, but then a smile grows, shy as a blossoming flower. It means a lot to me that you asked. It is very kind of you. It is just, pardon me, I am not used to being asked what I want.
The Minotaur turns around and picks up a bottle of wine you had brought from the lounge. With a trained dexterity, he opens it with a corkscrew.
Astrian turns back to you, looks down to the wine glasses on the table. He holds the bottle with both hands, like one would hold a cross over one's chest. He steps towards the glasses, but pauses and puts the bottle to his lips. You can see his Adam's apple bobbing as he drowns his sorrows. When he meets your gaze again, there is a softness in his eyes you hadn't seen before. If Master wishes my honesty, I would be soothed if I knew Master appreciates me. My first color is secondary at best compared to that. I suppose I struggle with putting this into words. The Masters have commanded me to change to fit their visions. The same goes for how I should act and address them. And I obeyed eagerly, because I thought it would make them like me more, and if they appreciate me, won't they be less likely to send me out to the valley? I will eagerly don whatever color you wish if it will make Master like me more.
You poor...
Perhaps even prize me.
I feel so bad. There is no way you are expected to do anything naughty with this character. I feel so terrible for Astrian. There's no way. I really want to see I'm so curious about if you go the route where you send him to the valley, because apparently that is a choice. You can send this poor, defenseless Minotaur to the valley and let him get tortured by that horrible, horrible asshole in the valley. And I'm just like, who does that? Who actually wanted him to go to the valley? Like, I'm just like, wow. I'm like, wow, you really have to hate him to send him to the valley. You really have to hate him. It is not often I've been asked what I want. I am a prisoner after all. Why should the jailer care for my comfort? That you would extend me such consideration, that is reason enough for me to rejoice. In what case, it is right I give you an answer, one clearer than what I have told you so far. When I was alive, my fur was white. In my dreams, I still see myself with that same white fur. In the waking world, I look down and sometimes can't withhold a certain surprise to find out it isn't the case. After all those years locked away, I had even forgotten what my fur color currently was. If Master wants an answer, that is it. White fur would be nostalgic for me. Still, I'd be happy no matter what, as long as you don't hurt me. Please, don't feel pressure to consider this in your decision. I am already happy you cared enough to ask. Whatever your choice is, I will be cheerful. I won't hurt you, Astrian. Oh my gosh, this man has been hurt for centuries. Centuries he's been hurt. I want to hug him. I really want to hug him. I'm like, you poor, poor thing. I won't hurt you. I understand why you were afraid. I could see myself being suspicious of any new masters after what happened to you. My words might not convince right now, but I'll say okay. Sorry about that again, everyone. I have no idea what's going on, because it definitely can't be my internet. It has to be YouTube. Or OBS. It might be OBS. OBS must be messing up. Because the internet shouldn't be an issue. Like, the internet shouldn't be an issue at all. Let's try this again. I am only half full. I am acquainted with the wills of the human heart. Perhaps Master takes pity on me tonight, but I know how frail human winds are, how they fade so quickly. I have thought long and hard over those decades locked away, about this hotel, my sentence, my previous masters, and a young boy I knew. He was around my age. His name was Icarus. His father fashioned wings out of beeswax and feathers for the both of them, but Icarus had the hubris of flying too close to the sun. He fell to his death in the sea below, and we met in Hades after my death. I thought about him, that boy. Had I committed the same mistake by allowing myself to be happy? Joy was never my lot in life. Astrian caresses the table like he would a lover. His nails graze against the wood, clicking just loud enough for you to hear. Much like Icarus, I enjoyed a glimpse of freedom. This hotel was my set of wings. A chilly breeze blows from the window. It sends a shiver down your spine and a sudden stone coldness to Astrian's face. There are promises which cannot be fulfilled, my lord. The hotel knows this well. Not all contracts can be made to have an effect. The labyrinth would not allow one that opposes its stated mission. There was one master who, early in his mandate, tried passing a contract which forbid any and all from harming me. It could not be made to have an effect. The ink would drip off from it. The paper aged and rotted like milk. Worse still, his charity ran out one day. It is easy to offer one gesture of mercy, but to have it last requires a special kind of intensity. Power reveals what lies underneath. There were a number of gentle masters who turned sour and grew comfortable with harsh punishments. Even the kindest ones have not shied away from punishing me. It was their mission, after all. Hugh and Astrian both stare at each other. He eventually looks away, scratching the left side of his face. Please forget what I said, my lord. You approach Astrian. You raise your hand and cradle the left side of his face. You run your fingers over his short fur while taking care not to get too close to his injury. Astrian hesitates, but with each caress of your fingers, his eyes close further and he leans his weight against your hand. I promised I wouldn't send you to the valley, and I won't. And I won't hurt you. Astrian fully supports his weight on your hand. His eyelid flutters as if he was already falling asleep. You lift your other hand and begin petting the right, healthier side of Astrian's face. The Minotaur leans toward you, and you scoot closer to balance his weight. You let the Minotaur have his nap until his ears flicks. You give it a gentle rub and his eyes shoot open. Master Mark, I am sorry, I don't know what's got to me. It must be the drowsiness. It won't happen again. He remains with his head in your hands. It's fine. How are you feeling now? I'm... well, good. Astrian hesitates further before prying himself away from you, but with a sigh he does so. Again, I am so sorry. You did nothing wrong. There's no reason for you to say that. I feel so bad for Astrian. Like, I can't imagine the centuries that this poor man has gone through. And I can believe that power, like people say, power corrupts all. Power does corrupt all. So it's, I'm worried now because I feel like there's gonna be a choice that's gonna happen later where Astrian does something really hurtful towards us, and it's gonna be one of those choices where like, do we punish him or do we not punish him? And like, I can see it happening already. As you say, my lord. It's all right, Astrian. I'll be different. Don't you worry. All right, so you still gotta pick a fur color for Astrian, though. All right, I'm gonna let my audience choose. So, do you want him to keep his brown fur, give him black fur, or give him white fur? I'm gonna let people choose because I'm very curious what people are gonna say. So there are three choices: brown, black, or white. What is the choice? What's today's color of the day gonna be? What is today's color going to be? I'll give us like a minute. And just to let people know, so basically through his story, he did mention that he was born with white fur, so he always remembers himself in that way. 2 people for white. Okay, 2 people for white. So if we get 3 for white, it's automatically a majority because it's telling me I have 5 people watching this right now. So if push comes to shove, if I get 3 votes for something, then you know it's going to be that. And if it's a tie, I'll do the tiebreaker. Well, there shouldn't be a tiebreaker now. All right, another white fur. Okay, 3 people said white fur. It's gonna be white fur. White fur. I'm curious to see what he looks like. Oh, if Master would allow an imparting inquiry, did you choose white fur because of what I said? As I explained, I am happy enough knowing you care to ask. You need not restrict your choice because of me. Anyhow, if white truly is what you want, then I gladly obey. Astrian closes his eyes and focuses. Before your eyes, his fur begins to change. Oh, wow! He's really changed. You know what? I'm perfectly fine with the white. I like the white. I'm fine with it. Hold on, did I save? I just want to see what he looks like with the other ones. I'm just curious. We're going to keep white, but I'm just curious. Let me see. What does he look like with black? No. Yeah, I don't even like. I don't like the black fur actually. Yeah, so white and brown I think is good for him. Okay, we'll keep white. Here we go. Astrian's fur is now a lustrous white color as per your request. I am honored with your choice, Master. I like him with white fur. Astrian heads to the kitchen to prepare your dinner. From time to time, you see him staring at his arms while he's cooking. Maybe he's getting used to his new fur color. After a while, Astrian returns to the table, serves you dinner, and sits on the opposite end of the table as usual. When you look up, you are greeted by Astrian's big, dopey smile. He tries to contain himself, but it ends with him having to stop his giggling. White was the right choice! White fur was the right choice. See, I think he really liked that. I'm really happy. I think he enjoyed it. He didn't want to admit it, but he's happy. At times, he almost dozes off, still with a smile plastered on his face. You finish your meal. Astrian goes to pick up your dish, as usual. This time, you left a big chunk for him to have, and he smiles as he heads to the kitchen. You bid each other good night and then head to your respective bedrooms for the night. The following morning, as usual, the sound of Astrian's hooves clopping on the floor and the smell of breakfast wakes you up. You wake up, get dressed, and head out of the bedroom. Astrian once again greets you. Good morning, Master. I hope you slept. Good morning, Master. Hope you slept well. After the breakfast routine this time, Astrian serves scrambled eggs, ham, and freshly squeezed orange juice. He washes the dishes and returns to you. What are your plans for today, Master? Well, it's still pretty early. I think I'm going to stick around here and tinker with my phone a little. See if I can get it to work. What about you? I think I'll head down to reception, see if we're lucky enough to get any more guests. So soon? Well, I guess Coda got here soon after we lit the hearth, so it's possible. Oh, before I go, what should I wear today, Master? Is my fur color right? Oh, we can still change his fur color. Is this like a daily thing? The MC, yes, the MC is a human, Tendo. The MC is, yeah, they're human. Which I kind of like. I kind of like. I'm more interested in furry visual novels that have human and furry characters. The VN I'm working on, I've mentioned before. The VN I'm working on has both, as human and it's going to have human and furry characters. Even though all the romantic interests are furry characters. So okay, I am really curious. Oh wow! Oof! You can actually do... Can you do this? You can No, that's terrible. Also, what happened to my baby? Look at him! Dude, he's skin... No! No! I feel so bad for him! They just... Alright, the writer just wants you to make feel like so terrible. No! Oh my god! Look at his body! It's so... It's like still healing. You can see the muscle. That is terrible. You can see the muscle. No! Poor Astrian. Alright, I'm gonna let people choose. I keep letting people choose. I'm gonna let them choose again. Do we want to keep him in casual wear, or do we want him to have something more old school? He looks good in both. I have no complaints with either one. Thank you, Nivik, for Nivik, you sound familiar. Nivik, who are you? Because I kind of forgot who you are. I hate to be that person, but I don't remember Discord. He isn't 100%. Yeah, I can tell. Poor thing. It's like, oh no, he's still healing. I know he's still healing because you can tell with his one eye, but oh, that's terrible. All right, I actually kind of want to go for the 1920s, I guess, or whatever it is wear, but both look good. I have no complaints. What do people want? Do you want the casual wear, or we're definitely not going with the naked because yeah, you know, YouTube, so I can't do that. Sorry, everyone. Plus, I'm trying to make this a stream for people of all ages as much as I can. Let people enjoy this. I don't mind people watching this who are under 18 as long as it's not anything, you know, bad going on, which, you know, I mean, this is bad, but it's not bad, if that makes any sense. You know what? Let's change up. Let's give him... We're gonna go with this. I'm gonna change up a little bit. Let's give him this. I've been following this game stream since episode 1 and giving advice. Well, thank you. Yeah, I do remember you from the... I do believe I do remember you from the first one, or the second time I streamed this. I appreciate it. I don't mind... I will always say this. I don't mind people giving me advice. I don't care about people giving me advice. Just please don't spoil anything. Giving advice and spoiling something are completely different things. As long as you're giving me advice and not spoiling the story, I don't mind, because not only do I not want to be spoiled, people watching this are probably new to the VN and don't want to get spoiled. Yeah, I really do. I'm going to go old school. I actually want to change up. We've been using casual. Let's go. Old school really does look good with the white fur. It looks great. I think it looks perfect. We're going to go with this. Old 8. Did you not like that, Astrian? Did we do something wrong? Yeah, what's the matter, Astrian? Well, I'm debating whether I should tell you this or not, but I suppose it mustn't mean a lot to you, but I appreciate that Master has been good to me in one sense. What do you mean? Some of the more ruthless masters enjoyed humiliating me in many ways. Stripping me down and making me walk on all fours, that was a common one. I may be a hybrid, but I am half human. I'm not a beast. That came to an end, thankfully. In accordance with the contracts written and signed by previous masters, I am forbidden from exposing myself when we are expecting guests. Neither may I establish a relationship with a guest. I am under a variety of restrictions. Huh. So he said he's not able to establish a relationship with a guest. Does that include the master? I bet you I bet you we'll find out later. I'm curious. I wonder if previous masters forced him to do sexually explicit content with him. Which is horrible to think about, by the way, because that's not really consensual. It's not really consensual. If you're being ordered to do that, that's the R word, which I'm not going to say it, but everybody knows what I mean when I say that's technically the R word. But I'm sure that we're going to find out more about his backstory, more about his masters later, so we'll probably find out about that too. Not all of these contracts are written out of kindness, but they were beneficial. I am happy that you haven't attempted to break that rule, Master Mark. Forgive me for bringing up the subject, but I thought it was important that you know. Very well then, I shall head to reception. Astrian leaves. I feel bad because I don't know what voice to give Astrian. I mean, I'm giving him just a basic deep voice, but I'm like, I feel bad because I feel like I should be giving him a better voice. It was so much easier to give him a voice when he was like all like emancipated. It was easier. Now it's like, what voice do I give him? Astrian leaves and gives you a smile before closing the door behind him. You sit down on the couch, staring at the door and then the window, and think about how to spend your morning. Oh, here's Luke. Luke 1, Stargazing and Whiplash. I got to save, by the way. Oh, listen to that fancy. Listen to that guitar. Okay, listen to the guitar. Oh, wow. Okay, hold on. I got to save. He's an all-American biker. He's a real badass. Oh, man. All right, I'm interested. Let's see where this goes. The griffin sits on a damp picnic table, sipping his stale, diluted, all-American beer. He hunches forward, supporting his elbows on his knees, and inhales the petrichor wafting from the rain-slick soil. He enjoys every gulp of his lukewarm Bud Light, letting it sit in his beak until all the taste is gone before swallowing. He looks ahead towards Cape hate spelling. Freaking screw words. Cape Canaveral's launch site to avoid staring at the families nearby. He tells himself to smile. The table is coated in a fine layer of salty water, blown onto the mainland from the sea up ahead. Excuse me. That same salty condensation coats the griffin's feathers, fur, and beak. His mind hops with each languid blink of his eyes. The lukewarm beer with an aluminum aftertaste. I don't know what this word is. To this day, I do not understand how birds put on shirts. I could have. At Watendo, that's why you never see a bird wear anything besides a ripped shirt. Or something that has sleeves on it, because they would rip it all up. Actually, spoiler alert for everybody, this shirt was originally a long sleeve shirt until Luke tried to put it on, and then he ripped it all up. The humming of it. The catchy pop song blaring from the stereo a few yards away. He taps his feet to the song's rhythm while laying a hand over the front pocket where he keeps his passport. The setting sun glaring at him, he raises a hand to shield his eyes and looks at the fine men hanging around with their families, dancing to the song. He knows he shouldn't. They are married after all, but the griffin can't stop himself from fantasizing. They are stodden, hairy, and damp from a humid day under the Florida sun. Their shirts have sweat stains. A few of them are wearing tank tops that ride up their bellies, showing off their treasure trails and navels. Luke, you trying to tell us something there? Luke, you trying to tell us something? One of them in particular, a man in his mid-30s wearing khaki knee-high shorts and an unbuttoned dress shirt adorned with a oh my gosh. I am so sorry. I was about to say the wrong word. Oof, that was a big oof. But the NASA logo makes the griffin thirsty. Their backs are open and they button the top and back button parts. Huh. Good to know. Their backs are open and they button the top and back. Ah, okay. Interesting. He's grateful for his shades. It's easy to turn your head while keeping your eyes drilled on the prize. One would guess he's enjoying the pink and oranges of the setting sun. But there's no containing a longing like his. That's a fine man, sure, but it's the shirt that sells it for the griffin. Surely it's just some gift shop memento, but maybe he's an engineer on his day off. He's always had a thing for smart men like that. What he wouldn't do to taste him, feel him, hear him gush over his latest project. The griffin opens another beer and chugs it. Even with eyes closed, he lays a hand on the table and recognizes all the carvings on it dating from decades ago. At times, this griffin avoids thinking in words. There's a danger in eloquence. But he cannot escape them forever. He checks his phone and scrolls over the messages from his ma and siblings, telling him they wouldn't be able to attend this year. The griffin sits on his picnic table, caressing the carvings he left over the years, and is assaulted by words. He calls himself Luke. Today, he is alone with his own thoughts, and nothing is more terrifying. This is the first time only one of them came over to watch the launch. For decades, the other tradition was fulfilled without interruption. A yearly visit to Cape Canaveral to watch a launch. He knows that traditions are powerful for as long as they remain unbroken. But he's here, and hopefully that'll be enough to keep it going. Next year he'll drag everyone along, even if it's the last thing he'll do. Even if, like today, the launch is canceled at the last minute. Truth is, seeing the rocket go up is a happy surprise, but it's not at all a necessary part of their tradition. What matters is bringing the family together to remember. The griffin opens another beer can. Will keep drinking well into the night, at times sneaking sideways glances at all those fine, married, straight men, hoping one of them looks back with the same lecherous eyes. If they looked his way, they'd see a painfully average human, an American with hazel hair and somewhat tanned skin. Luke pats his passport once more. How fragile is the illusion that keeps people from seeing his true form. A simple booklet is his main shield against detection. And that same little notebook is what keeps all these men from looking at the griffin and noticing him. It makes him unnoticeable. Were they to look his way, he'd be like a distant memory, a nondescript human shape their minds will glaze over. That is a weight all mythical creatures must carry, he knows. Luke thinks back to his childhood, surrounded by more than a dozen siblings, back at the old farmhouse to the east of Austin. During summer, the entire family would sleep on the porch to cool off. The kids would become a mass of limbs piled together, breathing in unison. The boys in one corner, the girls in the other. Luke and his brothers would look up to the stars and trace constellations. Peter, the eldest, would tell the stories behind each one of them, or make them up, as Luke realized years later when he enlisted to the military and was mocked for thinking Orion was playing a guitar. Tonight, Luke cradles his memories. He'll sleep cuddling his picnic table, looking up to the stars he'll never touch. When he speaks, he has the voice of a schoolboy, and he hears Peter telling him all the made-up stories. One can almost forget the hardships and temptations of being an adult at such time. By the time dawn breaks, he'll be a man again on his way home. Driving scares away the words. One's conscious mind turns off, and all that is left is being in the moment. Pure mechanical memory alongside the scent of his cracking leather seats. Long drives and thousands of miles never scared Luke. Ever since his 20s, 10 hours on the long road or more were always welcome. He has a home, a small cottage in the mountains of a flyover state, 40 miles away from the nearest town. Not a single neighbor, human or otherwise. It wasn't worth it, making the effort to build bonds when he would just be forgotten. That was an effect of the passport and all the charms he used. It disguised the griffin as a human, but also made most people prone to forgetting him. He could never remain there for long. The isolation got to him, but neither did he fare well in cities for long. Being forgotten was too much. The cabin was just a place he had the keys for. His car was a better home. Although with all the traveling over the years, he had learned not to grow attached to any specific vehicle, even if he took care of them like a son. Home was the road in all its forms. Usually car, but also train, bus, even hitchhiking. As for a bed, his time in the military taught him that the floor is as good as any bed. Although sometimes he lay there at night and wondering, if he was in a bed instead, would there be someone besides him? He looks down to the cup holder to his right. There's his passport, that little blue booklet, his ball and chain. He can't lie to himself. He can't stay long in a single place. But he can't speak the truth either. Words he knows are dangerous. For a man such as him, those wordless moments of mechanical memory feel like the closest to paradise he will ever experience. Just do. Be. Don't think too hard about it. A revere such as this can last days. But it is fragile. All it takes is a single unforeseen shift and it shatters, and that's what happens. Far ahead, something catches Luke's eye, a man walking beside the road. He doesn't think. The impulse to help a stranger just hops up to the forefront of his mind. He wants to give him a ride. The car comes to a screeching halt. Luke lowers the passenger side windows and screeches over to greet the traveler. It's this guy again! I want to know. I want to know who this guy is. It's this guy again. He was the same guy that got coded to go to the hotel. And let me guess, somehow he's going to end up getting Luke to go to the hotel. I want to know. There's something weird about this man. And I got to find out what's with him. There's something going on here. The griffin cranes his neck up and down to take a good look at the man, but speaks before he's even seen his face. Oh, boy. I got to give him a Texas accent. Oh, no. Okay. Alright. I'm trying to think. Hey, hold on. Hey, you wanna... Hey, you wanna ride? Oh, no. Hold on. I gotta hear something. I gotta listen to something real quick. Oh. I gotta think of how I want this to sound. Texas accent. I'm trying to think how to do this. I don't want to screw this up. Texas accent. Texas. Oh, hello there, Ghosty. You're just in time for me to figure out a Texas accent. Hey, you want to ride? Oh, you know what? We're just going with it. I'm just going with it. I can't do accents. I can't do accents. I've told you people before, I can't do an accent. The griffin is still appraising the man. Quite openly, in fact. It's been a few days since he's seen any action, and the last afternoon at Cape Canaveral only revved its boosters. Luke stares openly at the stranger's crotch. Now that's a happy surprise, he thinks. It's not every day a handsome hitchhiker packs his own lunch. A thick length of denim-busting sausage. Now, aren't you a good Samaritan? Don't mind if I do. Samaritan, now that's a word Luke hasn't heard before. He keeps his ignorance to himself. The traveler has a stiff accent with sharp consonants and a chirpy, youthful voice. As soon as he enters, Luke's surprised with how well kempt he is. He smells like fresh laundry. That's an even better surprise. It's never sexy when the car ends up smelling like a garbage truck. The two set off together with the radio blaring a sweet jazz tune. Luke sneaks sideways glances at that fine-paced man, barely able to contain the throbbing need in his pants. Not many people nowadays give rides to just anyone they see on the road. That's very kind of you, Mr. Luke, just Luke. And what can I say? I don't have the heart to leave someone in the middle of nowhere. I travel a lot, you see. Did a lot of hitchhiking, so I always try to help out and pay it forward. By the way, mister, I'm afraid I didn't get your name either. Gene, that's what my friends call me. Oh, so we're friends already. That was quick. Of course. I've been on the road for a good while too, and I can appreciate someone who treats travelers properly. People like us ought to look after each other's needs. Oh, sure, I know how to treat a traveler properly. Luke sneaks another sideways glance to Gene and spreads his legs. The bulge of his erection is plain for the traveler to see. He sure could go for a blowjob right about now. Given one, that is. And don't worry, everybody. The NSFW content is skipped over, so there shouldn't be anything that shows up. Unlike what I played yesterday, Changeling Tale, which I forgot to do. But this as far as I know, will not be in there. Hopefully, crossing my fingers. I think last time we played this, we did that. Also, again, if anybody out here is in a southern state, I apologize for my terrible Texas accent. I apologize for my terrible Texas accent. It's not easy giving head when you have a beak, but practice makes perfect, and Luke has had a lot of practice. It takes a conscious effort to keep himself from pulling over and going down on Jean. He must have a fine dick, he thinks, but it hardly matters what his dick is like. Any dick is good enough. Luke wonders how Jean likes to fuck. Maybe... I'm serious. I was like, I hope nothing showed because I don't want the stream to get shut down. I don't want the stream to get shut down. Oh, man. Luke wonders how Jean likes to fuck. Maybe he'll grab the griffin's head and go to town. He might end up with a slobber running down his chest and his feathers all ruffled up. That's how a proper fuck ought to leave you, he thinks, all deceived with the taste of cum lingering in your mouth. Or maybe Jean is the type to pull out when he's coming. That'd be fine too, having a load drying on his feathers. It's not like anyone would notice since they are already white, but it'd be hot if they did. Luke never bothered hiding how much of a slut he is. It's sexy in its own way. He wouldn't mind getting railed either, bending over the car's burning hood, spreading his legs and letting the stranger make him into a bitch. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna get shut down. My stream's gonna get shut down. My stream's gonna get shut down. No, I was expecting this to happen. And nothing beats driving with a load in his guts. But then again, the traveler had such delicate features, it's hard to imagine him as a rough fucker. Maybe he's the kind to make love. The griffin feels the tension rise in the air, his erection strains against his pants. It won't be long before a wet patch forms on his crotch. His daydreaming, however, killed the conversation. He wants more of that exotic voice to make sure the traveler's up for it. He must be one of those weirdo foreigners, Luke thinks. You have a funny accent, Jean. Mind telling me where you're from? Oh, I'm from Europe, but you could probably guess that I don't live there anymore. I work as a delivery man, so I don't ever stop for long in any single place. In fact, that's why I'm here to begin with. I'm making a delivery to a truck stop a few miles up ahead. You only have to take me that far. You are American, yes? Is that a Texan accent I notice? Damn right, born and bred in the Lone Star State and a proud veteran to boot. I don't live there anymore, but let me tell you, there's no place quite like it. The men are men for starters, and no food beats ours. I've heard some say New Orleans Cajun food is better, and it is good, don't get me wrong, but nothing compares to our barbecue. Nothing. I've been to Europe, I've had your grub and drank your wine. It ain't too bad, but y'all are too classy and stuck up for your own good. Back when I was there, I'd rather have my MREs than the stale bread the French gave us. I don't get what all the fuss is about the baguettes and croissants. Back then, they wouldn't even spare us a pat of butter. Never got what's so good about macarons either. Back when I was in Nancy, they all tasted like cough syrup. French food ain't what it's cracked up to be. Yes, he is. Yes, Luke is incredibly thirsty. He's very thirsty, apparently. The talking makes Luke forget about his raging erection. He's used to being silent and avoiding words, but of course he is almost always on his own and on the move. The prospect of company warms him up, and all the words come pouring out. Words aren't so prickly when you have company. And while some, if not most, will feel intimidated or weirded out by Luke's ramblings, the traveler cracks a smile and nods along. Have you ever been to Texas? You need to try a cornbread plus a proper burger with a nice cold Dr. Pepper. Pepsi drinkers get the rope. Good old Texas barbecue too, you have to try it. It's the best in the whole goddamn world and the rest can suck it. I don't know if a fancy pants European like you can appreciate a proper burger, though. See one of you trying to eat one for fucking fork and knife. Then again, aren't nice band over there in Europe or something? Texas will make a man out of you, and if you're ever in Houston, there's so much to see. Mission Control and the Space Center for starters. They have kick-ass pickle pops, you gotta try those. Oh, I've been to Texas before, yes, but I admit I haven't done through all those experiences. I'm sorry. Definitely haven't had any Texas barbecue. I'll have to get that sorted out next time. Can't make such a fox pass again. You know, there's another one of those fancy European words. Foul puh, thought the griffin. If you don't mind me asking, what brought you here to Florida? Oh, it was a family reunion. Ma and all my siblings get together once every year to watch a rocket launch. It's our tradition. But the whole thing went to shit. Everyone was too busy this year. I came anyway, of course. Can't let a tradition die. But even the launch left me hanging. The whole thing got delayed. It got me so bummed I decided to just go home early. I usually stop by Fort Lauderdale for a week or two of fun, but I figured I wasn't in the mood for it. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Fort Lauderdale, no, that's a destination if you want to party. Maybe a more relaxing vacation would do you good. You've already visited France. I'm sorry you had a bad experience, but maybe you should try giving Europe another chance. Bruges is great this time of year. It's like a fairy tale. Is there any place you'd like to visit? Luke thinks before answering. France out of the question. Same goes for Germany, Italy, perhaps, or Greece. Yeah, there's a place I'm 3.125% Greek. You know that's where my family came from some 20 or 30 generations ago. I mean, sure, I have a lot of Native American in me too, from my mom's side. But I always thought of myself as Greek. I ought to pay Nami a visit someday, see where my ancestors came from. The Nemean lion, Luke thinks. Large is the gap between how a man sees himself and how he is seen by others. The hitchhiker sees a man, a plainly bland, mixed-race American, but through the rearview mirror, Luke sees his true shape. An enchanted passport is all that keeps his true shape hidden. Plus, don't people say the Greeks were all about butt-fucking each other? I've got to see for myself if that tradition still holds. Dude, he's so bad! Oh my gosh, Luke is terrible. Luke, why are you talking about the countries like this? You're a terrible person. He is horrible. He is a horrible person. Not all Americans are like this, I swear. That's so bad. Luke bursts out giggling while Jean watches him, quiet. After the griffin's laughter dies down, he gives the man a sideways glance and feels for the tension in the air. Somber thoughts, however, pass away quickly. Fresh needs take over the griffin's mind. Now that the conversation's been properly ended, the horniness from nearly a week without getting laid throws all his subtlety out the window. He needs dick now when he has a hunch this traveler might swing that way. Hey buddy, you mind if we make a quick stop? I really need to take a leak. It's your call, my man. You are in charge. I'll take the chance out of smoke, too. Luke breaks too suddenly, betraying his eagerness. He pockets his passport, checks for oncoming traffic. There isn't any, and leaps out. The griffin walks over to Jean's. If it gets to something too serious, I'm going to skip through it. Like I said, I'm sorry. I'm trying to keep the stream PG-13. And I'm not trying to get the stream shut down. So if it gets too serious, we'll skip over until the thing is over. The griffin walks over to Jean's side of the car and with his back towards it pulls out his dick. He smiles when he hears Jean's door opening and closing and then the clicking of a lighter. Luke spreads his leg and raises his tail ever so slightly. He feels the traveler's gaze drilling him from behind. Jean walks up beside Luke and unzips. Okay, I gotta skip this. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, everyone. I gotta skip. I'm gonna skip. Sorry, I have to skip. I'm gonna be skipping this. Okay, I think we're good. Okay. I just wanted to skip in case something happened, because like I said, I don't want to have a stream go on. I still get really worried because when I had the stream going on with extracurricular activities and it got shut down, I don't want to be doing this, then like the skips, so just to be safe. If anybody's interested to see, download the demo. The demo's completely free. I don't even think they have a Patreon yet. As far as I know, the team doesn't, which is surprising. The rolling road slows down as Luke begins to near the truck stop. The lot is cracked to its edges, and the gas pump's covers are speckled with red dust. The truck stop has had its fair share of dust over time. Despite that pale blue paneling and those tarnished window frames, it has remained a roadside hub for the road's regulars. Gryffindor? Gryffindor!
There's still hustle and bustle at the stop after all these years. Truckers talking each other up and down, the lot backside filled by 18-wheelers, and the thick black smoke left behind by pickups as they continue their journeys on the road. Nothing quite like it, I swear. Open the window and take a whiff of that air. As Luke's truck moves over to the lot's entrance, Gene rolls down the window and the intermingled smell of gasoline and 24/7 breathless fills the vehicle. Now that's what I call Americana. Gene coughs hard, his words walking over each other as he quickly rolls the window back up. That's, definitely something else, I can safely say. Gene lets out a fizzled and forced laugh, looking a bit sick already. Luke offed as he slings an arm over Gene's shoulder, amused by the delivery man's enthusiasm. Right after parking, the two end up leaving the truck laughing like fools, mocking each other and talking dirty while walking. You know, Luke, I wouldn't mind catching you around again sometime soon. Luke's mind falls to the gutter again. Not like that, Birdbrain. I make deliveries along this route often, you see. There's this hotel reopening a bit further down the road, and my employer might send some shipments there soon. I'll be honest, you look like you could use some time off. None of that Fort Lauderdale party life. I mean, a place to cool down for a while. I knew he was going to mention the hotel again. This guy. If you do stay a while there, I'm sure we will end up seeing each other again. And I'd like that. I would. Oh, really now? I'll have to take you up on that then. Ain't too common you make friends on the road, and I mean friends that show up at the same diner or rest stop more than every 3 weeks. It's not easy to make conversation with someone you don't see much, especially when half the time they barely remember you. What, people have a hard time remembering you? I find that hard to believe. You're very remarkable. It's complicated. You'll see for yourself. It's easy forgetting the people you meet on the road. It's not something we have control over. I must respectfully disagree. I have no issue at all remembering the people I've met on my travels. Well, well, you'll see. I won't forget you, kitten. Especially if you stay a while in that hotel I mentioned. I'll be around there plenty. Someone has to drop crates at that dusty place. We'll see, Luke thinks, already aware of human folly. The goddamn passport in his pocket will make sure Gene forgets about him. The two arrive at the manager's office right by the rest stop's diner. I have to drop this package off, but you should try to get a room there. It certainly looks like it needs the guests. I'll think about it. Hotels can make your wallet drier than the I can't spell these words. Well, it is reopening just now. Wouldn't surprise me if they are doing some kind of low rate for the first few guests. Just give me a call or a text sometime. The two exchange numbers quickly before Gene extends his hand over to Luke, offering a gentleman's handshake. It was nice meeting you, Luke. I'll see you around, okay? Luke bats the hand away and gives Gene a heavy-handed pat on the back, almost knocking the poor man over. Now, that isn't how you say goodbye to a friend. You take it easy, partner. He's trying to get people in a hotel. I think he can see their true form, and I'm really curious what's going on. The two break apart and wave goodbye as they walk away from each other. A man can dream of being remembered and making friends. Hope is delectable in its own, especially when it's foolish. Luke has a smile stretched on his face before taking notice of something more pressing, his hunger. He might as well reward himself for being the good Samaritan he is. He turns away from his truck and heads towards the diner. The jingle of the door's bell announces Luke's entrance. A wrinkly-faced waitress welcomes him from the counter and asks for his order, pen in hand. I'll just take a coffee and 2 donuts if you got any. Sure thing, hon. You get comfortable, okay? Luke looks around briefly and notices there aren't so many seats that aren't worn to this stuffing. The only seat, a stained but plush bar stool, lies tight between 2 other men. The frames are wide enough to overlap the empty seat. Luke might as well make room for himself. He walks his way over to the seat and with a quick pardon, the two scoot themselves away so that he can see it. Even still, the bird is almost sandwiched between the 2 bulky men. Not long after sitting down, a dish with 2 fresh donuts and a steaming cup of coffee is set right in front of the griffin. Luke wastes no time and starts sipping at his coffee. Strong in taste and smell, it's something that'll love until his feathers fall out. Just as he starts to eat, a stuffy snort from beside him catches his attention. He glances to his side, a bulky beast of a man reading from the paper, sleeveless. Okay.
Oh. There we go. Like I said, everyone, sorry about this. I don't know what's been going on. This is acting really wonky, and it's usually pretty good. You know, my last few plays have been pretty good. But, oh well. Nothing. Nothing that won't set my rocks off, the sly eagle thinks to himself. The trucker's always packed down there. With all that extra testosterone that comes with the job, it must go somewhere. Another bite of the donut travels down his throat, and Luke glanced over once more. The large trucker scratches his exposed crack, unbothered by the fact that others are around. The sight scratches Luke's itch too, arousing him even more. His donut dips into the coffee, and Luke glances over to the other side this time. An older trucker wasted no time scarfing down a burger. His truck uniform hugs his belly tight before leading up to his unbuttoned, scruffy collar. The griffin tugs at his own fly, making his tent more obvious. Now to catch either man's attention, Luke turns his head just a bit and stares at the hawkish man. Not long after, the man peers back over and meets his gaze, then grunts and looks back to his paper. Luke looks back down at his food, then over to stare again. The man lowers his paper a bit and takes a longer look at the eagle. He smirked before pulling his paper up again. Can I just say how much I love how Luke is looking right now? He's got such a smug look on his face, and I'm just like, Luke, you're so horny. 2 minutes passes before Luke takes another look and catches the man looking him down before winking at him. Luke lightly kicks the man's foot, and the brute's knee reflectively spread apart wider. He eyes the tent hidden below the counter's edge. The griffin has it down to an art at this point. Luke chuckles quietly, finishes up his meal, and looks over to the bathroom, a squat building across the parking lot. He looks back at the brute, tilts his head in the direction of the building, then scoots out to head over. Another beef. You're right about that, Ghost. I'm wondering if the creator's trying to tell us something. I wonder if the creator has a certain body type they're interested in. Discreet and simple, he listens and hears two deep voices murmuring right behind him, eagle eyes and hearing of something that he finds useful even after his time in the military. Luke waits outside by the dumpster until he sees the trucker making his way to the restroom. After a minute, Luke follows. NSFW scene is coming, but since you have stream mode on, you should be good. Okay. Let me make sure I do, because I don't want to have any issues. Oh, you can't tell. I can't tell. I'm pretty sure I do, though. I should be good. Let me save just in case, though. Just be safe. From the doorway, a single beacon of sunlight slices through the bathroom's darkness. The fluorescent lamps are dead, and the few windows around are covered in thick yellow dust. It's a damp and musty place with a sharp tinge of disinfectant. The floor is sticky, hopefully due to the cleaning products. There are 6 to the right and 3 stalls to the left, 2 of them with the doors wide open. Beside the door, to the left in front of the stalls, are the porcelain urinals. And there's the trucker. I'm gonna be skipping this again. I'm sorry, everyone. Like I said, I just do this to be safe for my own sake. I honestly, if it wasn't for YouTube, I wouldn't have any issues playing this. As long as I censor stuff, I wouldn't care. But because I want to be safe than sorry, and also just for the fact that I'm sure there are people that are I don't know that. Just in case there are people that are under 18 watching this, I don't want to be seeming like I'm promoting anything. So I'm just gonna be skipping this. Like I said, if you really want to watch it, you can easily download it. It's completely free. I'm playing the version that's free. Any videos I play on my channel, any VNs I play on my channel that aren't finished are always going to be the free demos, just because I don't want to do the Patreon versions, because I feel like that's cheat. I feel like that's being disrespectful to people who pay for the Patreon to, you know, get a bonus. I feel like that's kind of a slap in the face to both Patreon donators as well as the team. So, I'm going to be skipping. Wait, are we on the... Oh, we might be done. Let's see. The man leaves, and suddenly it is all silent. Where's the warmth of that hand on the griffin's beak? Luke remains kneeling on the floor, feeling each second pass by. He checks his stained shirt, and now he isn't so sure about this anymore. His feathers are damp with cum. He thinks of leaving, but then feels his own straining erection. As soon as he undresses and exposes it to the air, he knows he's staying. The sounds of the ensuing debauchery can be heard from outside the restroom halfway through the parking lot. One by one, the men leave while laughter and groans persist. By nighttime only, Luke and the first trucker remain. Ow. The griffin collapsed on the floor. He only had the energy to roll over onto his back to look up at the man, now naked except for his boot, inviting the man to... Luke raised an arm, inviting the man to lay down on the floor with him, but the gesture is ignored. Instead, the trucker squats and checks the griffin's dog tags. Your name's Lucas, huh? Well, aren't you a good patriot, serving the men so well? What can I say? I like serving my people. The griffin's voice is hoarse. Still, he insists on inviting the man to wrestle with him on the floor, but his plea remains unheard. Nice knowing you, soldier. If we ever see each other again, let's have a repeat. Will you remember me, though? It's easy remembering such a big slut. You could count on it. He starts dressing up. Luke remains on the cold floor, and suddenly his senses return. There were many times when Luke attended rock concerts. Afterwards, his ears would be ringing for hours, sometimes days. He'd be keenly aware of silence. The same happens tonight. The silence is nothing short of oppressive. The reverie is over. Oof. The griffin and his clothes reek. There's no hiding the white stains on his shirt. Multiple men use it as a rag, or the wet trail going down his legs. His face is crusty and flaking off dried cum. At times, showing the evidence of his escapades made him feel proud, desirable, powerful. Walking out of an apartment with a streak of cum drying on his chest felt good. But tonight, he's broken down and out of himself. The legs walking him toward the cafeteria aren't his. Someone else is at the wheel. Takes a second for him to see what his eyes are looking at, and another for his brain to send him an answer back. His throat is hoarse from all the action. He went too far again. Felt good in the moment, sure, but he gets weird when they all leave him like that. His mind begins speaking too loud. Luke needs someone to speak to and hold him after they are done. That way his own thoughts don't run 100 miles per hour like they're doing right now. It's his favorite thing, that afterglow. It's like waves coming and going, washing over one's feet. Luke likes laying his head on someone's chest. The rumbling of someone's voice pulls him to sleep like nothing else. And like many times before, he's been denied it. Luke arrives at the cafeteria and asks for a cup of coffee. The look of disgust in the cashier's eyes make it clear he knows exactly what Luke was up to, and that he's not welcome to drip cum on their floor. The cashier slides a styrofoam cup over. Even if Luke didn't order to go, he takes it and goes outside to sit down beside the dumpster and look at the stars. His shaking hands spill half the cup's contents. The stinging heat doesn't even register. The griffin tells himself it'll all be fine once he's tracing the constellations. He'll feel like a kid. It'll be like being back at Camp Canaveral all over again. He's about to turn the corner when the cigarette stench hits him. The idea of being seen right now brings him no spark of excitement at all. Were he more in control of himself, he would have spun on his heel and walked away. But his mind is slow, his legs move on their own, and he stumbles on none other than Jean enjoying a cigarette. It's dark. Maybe he won't see how much of a disgrace I am, thinks the griffin. And the smoke might hide the scent. Maybe he won't recognize me in the dark. But it only takes a moment for Jean to figure out who it is. Luke, is that you? I thought you had gone already. What are you doing here? Luke has to piece together Jean's answer, then muster together a response, word by word. I wasn't feeling too good, so I took a nap in my car. I just woke up and I went for a cup of coffee. Is that so? The griffin's voice sounds scratchy and gravelly. He can't stop himself from coughing his lungs out. Funny, I had noticed your car was still parked, but I didn't see you there when I passed by. He takes a long drag from his cigarette and lets his words linger. Luke sits on the ground and shrinks into himself as he cradles his coffee. He dares not look at Jean, at that silhouette of the burning tip of the cigarette shining. Seems like you're catching a cold, too. You sound, pardon my bluntness, like shit. Luke sips on his coffee, hoping it will give him enough time to recompose himself. But silence lingers, gnawing away at him. Jean holds out for an answer until it becomes too much for the griffin. Now, what are you doing here? Weren't you supposed to have left by now? Oh, my ride had a few issues. It'll take 1 more hour or so to arrive. So here I am, waiting, watching truckers come and go. Lot of commotion tonight. The griffin's mind crashes and sways like the waves. He remembers how pleasant it was talking with Jean before. He just wishes he had that again. Like early in the day, Luke acts before thinking. As the words leave his mouth, he already regrets them. I could give you a ride again. You're good company. I enjoyed the talk. How about that? Luke's stomach sinks, however, he realizes there will be no way to hide how much he's taken. Jean will learn, if he hasn't already, what Luke is. Showing off his sexual conquest used to make him proud, but not tonight. Very kind of you, buddy, but I'm going back the way I came. Plus, you look like you really need a rest. Do you remember what I told you? There's a hotel up ahead. Supposedly it's reopening. Maybe you could stay a while. Seems like you need it. Is there someone waiting for you back home? No, I live on my own. And any reason to return quickly? A job, family, obligations? Luke goes back to his coffee, and Jean takes the hint. Maybe I should. Yeah, I sure could use some peace and quiet, a change of scenery. There's also a shower here. It's for employees, but I'm buddies with the owner. I have the key with me. I'm sure he'd be fine with you using it. Yeah, I could use a shower. Jean hands him the key. I suppose I should give you privacy now. Jean stops his cigar. Actually, if you don't mind, would you talk with me for a while longer? Do you know about the constellations, the names, and the stories? Would you be okay if we talked about them? Look, there's Orion. It's hard seeing Jean's face, but even if his eyes are covered in shadows, there is a glimmer. Sure, Luke, I know how to read the stars. It's useful. I'll tell you all about them, but you promise me you're going to take a break? Whatever you want, as long as you keep talking. Much has changed since Luke was a boy. No more sleeping on the porch in the pile with his brothers. No more listening to the radio after Dad got back from work. No more stargazing with Peter. He's a grown man now, covered in sex and knee-deep in self-loathing, struggling not to spill coffee from a styrofoam cup while sitting beside a dumpster. The shower will wash away all that gunk, but Jean's voice cleans his mind. When Luke closes his eyes, he can pretend it's Peter, his brother. The griffin struggles to not fall asleep. When Jean's ride arrives, the two say goodbye. It's laconic, even sorrowful. Luke takes a shower and snaps in his car, looking out to the stars through the windshield. He's too tired to drive right now. Tonight he holds on to the voice of his brother, like he's still a boy. When morning arrives, he'll be a man again, on his way to the hotel that he promised to check into. Hey, I'm gonna keep going. I wouldn't stop, but we're gonna keep going. Be safe. Alright, we're gonna use my normal voice now unless Luke talks, because I told you I'm not gonna do an accent. Luke adjusts the rearview mirror. His eyes flash for a moment. He doesn't appreciate seeing himself like that, coming out of nowhere. Mirrors he knows are dangerous. The engine revs once, twice, thrice for good measure. Luke's claws dig into the steering wheel's leather. The early morning sunlight coming through the windshield warms his chest and grazes his beak. He takes off. Sweet mechanical memory. Hardly takes a minute for the griffin to start humming a tune. Fine jazz tune hit. Washing off all that gunk, a good night's sleep in the backseat, and Jean's talk got him back up and running. Yeah, he could use some in a different time in a different scenery. Jean was right. It's not like he has anything better to do, or a job. The scenery shifts quickly, just as easily as Luke jumps from one tune to the next. He speeds up until the car is trembling and its individual parts are shaking, threatening to come undone. More of the sweet danger. And he would have gone further, were it not for the blocky shape about a minute up ahead. How did he not notice it sooner in this flat desert? He takes his foot off the gas pedal and allows inertia to carry him forward. He's still going fast enough that when he takes a right turn to the parking lot, the car swerves and the griffin is pushed against the door. He cackles with his forehead pressed against the window. The car comes to a halt precisely over the line separating two rows of parking slots. Luke has broken his record by using not one, not two, not three, but 6 spaces simultaneously. His car stereo still blares jazz when he steps out of it, and he slams the door to the beat of the song. The toot is no more, but the griffin crosses the wide expanse of the parking lot, still humming the song, timing his footsteps to the beat. He climbs the steps, clinking his claws on the handrail. The doors swing open as he lays his weight on them, and then he seals the deal with a final push that slams them into the walls behind. Luke's arrival is like a judge's gavel silencing the world around him, and in the ensuing emptiness, his stride still follows the jazz beat. Ever since he set out earlier in the morning, he's had this contagious spring in his step. At any given moment, he could burst out in laughter or dance. But now as his eyes adapt to the newfound indoor lighting, and he sees the man behind the reception desk, Luke's attitude changes. Luke takes off his glasses. Hey, you! Yes, sir. What the fuck happened to your face? Did a dog chew on it? Excuse me? You heard me, what happened to your face? And what kind of fancy thing did you do to get an LED in your skull like that? The Minotaur looks down, stuttering out an unaudible response. He bites his lip hard and a revolt of cold sweat runs down his back. Jesus, if you want to look like some cartoon character, you don't have to rip half your face off. Luke's stride covers the distance between them before the Minotaur has a chance to think up an answer. The griffin puts both his hands on the desk and leans forward. He keeps his gaze locked on the Minotaur's empty eye socket, examining the flickering flame inside. What a weird little thing you are. What even are you? The Minotaur looks away and covers his face without a second thought. His entire back is covered in cold sweat now. I am sorry, I know I am. In a flash, Luke's contained laughter bursts out like a dam. Haha, I'm just messing with you, buddy. You should have seen your face right there. Now that must have been one nasty fight you got into, but I've seen and been through worse. I know how it is. You wouldn't know it seeing since I don't have any scars to show, but yeah, I've been through some shit. Haven't been blown away once, even been blown away once or twice. You know those old-timey stick-style grenades? Hurt like a bitch, and there was that one time in... Oh, look at me, I almost went off on one of my rambles. I could spend all day talking about such a fine piece of prime Angus steak as yourself. Now, Luke, what just happened last night? And you're right back doing it. Stop! Get yourself some help. Stop it. Get yourself some help, Luke. Well, it doesn't matter. I want to book a room here. Hey, this place must be pretty good, right? The Minotaur stumbles at the mention of the hotel. His gaze shows a blossoming warmth, despite all Luke's staring at his face. Yes, it's quite a marvelous hotel, and I guarantee it will improve. It's very empty now, but it's sure to change in just a few days. I'll hold you to that. So where do I sign? What are your rates? Oh yes, just sign here in the ledger and fill in these forms. This is our soft opening. We won't charge you, good sir. Oh, so this place is fancy and cheap. What's the catch then? I am sorry to say there is no catch. This place has a mission, you see, and well, we don't ever charge much. A mission? This some sort of charity? I suppose that's a way to put it. Yes, at least it was for a good while. It's up to the owner. Luke has been checked into the hotel. You can see your current guests on the guest screen in the menu. There looks like there's still 3 more we're missing. I'm so curious about the last 3. A jingoistic, fun-loving griffin, calm river spirit from Japan, the hotel's keeper, prisoner of the labyrinth. Alright. Luke hands over the forms. The Minotaur takes a curious glance at them. Mr. Lucas Walker, born in October 1923. Your looks are quite misleading. I'd never have guessed your age. You'd even be old enough to... Oh, you know how it is. Griffins don't age like humans do, and I'm from a fine lineage, you see. I'm 3.125% Greek, and my papa was just like me in that regard, barely aged. I see. I'm sorry. I admit I've never met a griffin before. I don't know how it is, I'm afraid. Well, I could say the same. Never saw a Minotaur myself. I thought you guys were just some old Greek legend. Cretan. Excuse me? A Cretan story, not Greek. Greece didn't exist when it all happened, about 3,000 years before Christ. Forgive my impertinence. Here is your key, Mr. Walker. Your room is just down the hall. I hope you have an enjoyable stay here with us. Oh, I'm sure I will, and I hope I get to have a taste of Agnes Beast someday. Chapter 8 conflict. Alright, we are gonna stop here. I think it's a good time to stop. We're gonna stop here. Alright, so now we have two guests. We have Luke, and we have the fun-loving Luke, and we have the more calm, ever-searching Kota. So what does everybody think? Everybody enjoying the VN so far? Sorry about the voices. I think, sadly I have to say it's probably my worst voices I've done in this video, and I feel so bad about it. But, people enjoying this. I'm enjoying it. Like I said, if anything naughty happens, I have to kind of skip it just to be safe to make sure YouTube doesn't take anything down or send a strike my way. You know how it is. Hoping people are enjoying the video, though. Hope people enjoyed this stream. Like I always say, if you are interested, feel free to download a demo for yourself. As far as I know, the team does not have a Patreon yet, so you don't have to worry about donating or any other versions that are ahead of the current version I am playing. Don't forget, if you like what I do, feel free to like, comment, or subscribe to the channel. Feel free to share my work with other people if you think they'll enjoy it. I mean, you know, I just like doing this for fun at the end of the day. You know, appreciate each and every one of my fans that comes over and talks to me and stuff. Oh, and before I forget, also, if you like what I do and you'd really like to help show your support, feel free to donate to either my PayPal or I also have my coffee. Feel free to send a coffee my way. I might not drink regular coffee, but I do drink iced coffee. But with that being said, this was it. We're gonna stop here. I'm really liking this VN. I forgot how much I enjoy Minotaur Hotel. It has a very good pace. The pace is very well done. I will be streaming this probably sometime next week. Next stream is upcoming is a lovely story that is being worked on by the lovely Tendo Bendo. That will be the next stream that I will be doing. I'm going to try it for sometime later this week. I can't guarantee it though. Definitely will be finishing up. I will definitely be finishing up Adastra this week. This week Adastra will be definitely streamed and finished. And then we're going to move on to Kemia. And also, I was highly recommended by a lot of people to do Echo. I might do Echo earlier than I said I would. I might think about doing Echo next week. But I'm going to be doing a lot more live streams. I hope everyone enjoyed. I really love doing these so much, and all of you are so wonderful. So, with that being said, this has been Fallenwolf. And I'll see you next time. Take care of yourself. Bye.